And away we go.
Y'all,
I don't know what that was.
I feel like I understand like couples that have been in a relationship for a long time and you just like you're married and your husband, you know that every time you're gonna go to a party to the Jefferson's house, he's gonna grab some woman's ass or something and you just have to sit there and take it. And that's how I feel every time Poodle burps for 5 minutes before we start a show.
Hello, this is Captain Poodle speaking. Are you ready to find love?
Yes, ahoy, matey.
Love. Exciting and new. Go online. They're catfishing you.
Shocker.
Fiancé.
Soon you'll be flying to parts unknown.
90-day Beyonce.
Marrying someone you only met on your phone.
Be they French or Chinese, a brand new K1 visa's the key.
Ooh, the key to what, Poodle?
To love. It's 90-day gate. Let's love.
I did it. No, I will not be ridiculed by you. I'm getting it out. I'm getting it out. Would you rather me burp during the show?
I don't know why you have to wait till we're on camera. It's
I'm
just
getting
like,
it out.
At least you don't fart, but y'all, it's literally like.
I'd rather you not tell our behind production secrets.
You burped in the middle of our shows.
Sometimes it will come up if I've been talking
Or drinking. Y'all,
drinking.
Get ready. When the live shows happen, all bets are off.
Maybe I'll just take my pants off one night.
That could happen.
This is Toe.
Toe.
90-day
Gays doing toe, y'all.
This is Toe.
Doing
this
some
is
toe.
This is our first free show
What do you mean?
of the week.
Oh, of the week, yes.
Have we have any announcements? Oh, we were gonna make one announcement, but I don't know if we're ready to. Maybe tomorrow.
Well, let's tease it for tomorrow, but we will do it tomorrow. We have to do it tomorrow. This is the
worst cock tease.
No,
ever.
Well, actually, we already know. There's nothing to say yet. We're going to make a light announcement, and then we're just going to say kind of what's happening.
Make a light announcement.
A light.
What's that?
A light announcement, and then Jackie's going to give us all the rules.
It's a soft, not a light announcement.
It's like
it's a soft opening.
It's like
yours.
It's like a chubby.
Yeah.
It's not a full hard opening.
This is huge news we're about to drop on you.
It is huge news, but still
like a
soft.
like a thick dick that's soft, just like knocking at your lower back.
Yes.
Not that I know anything about that.
Yeah.
Soft opening. Here's the big thing. Can you give us a drum roll? And we'll. This is going to sound like, I feel like everything we're going to lead up to is just going to be like, here, we're changing our name.
He just had to do it because I knew he wouldn't let me do it. But here's the deal, y'all. We're changing the name of the show, and we're changing it because
because we want to.
Not because we want to, because very long story short, we thought we would be on the up and up and trademark our podcast name, and when we did that, we triggered legal schmiegel stuff, not with TLC and not with Discovery and not with Matt Sharp, so please do not come for them, but for the company that owns them, Discovery. And
it's so Discovery Network legal, and let me explain just what it is. Anything
with a desist letter, you desist.
Yeah. It was a little scary, no lie. We've had some time that says basically we're going to take everything from you. So it's been thank goodness for our lawyer Emily Kimmel. Yeah. That kind of helped us through all this. She's actually a sissy in the squad, you guys. The thing that you should know is that it's not necessarily about them being afraid we're taking something of theirs. It's just that trying to trademark our name would cause confusion in the marketplace for if we were an actual representative of Discovery Limited and Discovery Network. And you understand why we would not be the ideal representatives.
We're not
in
the brand ambassadors for Discovery. So honestly, to be honest, we're not even. Y'all don't write them, tweet them. Don't be upset.
No,
it's fun. We actually
we get it. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. We actually
are excited because, we've started we're back doing Sweet Tea, and we want to do other shows besides 90 Day Fiancé, and we feel like 90 Day Gay.
We're already doing that.
Kind of lets people think that we just do 90 Day Fiancé, and we don't. So
we're not stopping doing 90 Day Fiancé, though, just so you know.
So this is going to be changing, but you give me the drum roll, Poodle, and I'll do the second part of the announcement. We're going to do a contest, and you're going to pick the name. That's what's going to happen.
And y'all are going to choose our new name.
We're going to choose our new name.
Caveat. If you're shitty with your choices, I'm still going to make the decision.
That was the only way I could get Jake to agree. So I said, what? He was like, but what if they're all bad? I said, okay, if they're all bad, he said, I'm just picking what I want or making up something.
RuPaul says, the final decision is mine alone.
It's true. So
I'm good with shit like that, y'all, though. I named us. I named 90 Day Gays.
I mean, and I helped shake and bake, bitch. Jesus.
But I'm good with branding. I'm good with coining things. It's a strength of mine.
Jackie is helping us. Jackie, our Facebook moderator, Fearless Dead Mother Jackie, has been working on kind of a way to organize this and how we're going to do this. There are going to be some rules. Well, actually, I think we're doing this all wrong and Jackie's going to kill. So we should read the rules now because I think we're starting to do this. Well, actually, we'll read the rules and talk about it tomorrow.
You're a fucking mess.
No, I was going to say we're going to talk about the rules and everything on tomorrow.
We're going to talk about it tomorrow. Yeah.
Because submissions will start, I think, on this Friday, on November 6th.
Submissions will start November 6th, and we're going to end it, I believe, like the beginning of December.
And then we're going to make decisions, and we'll make an announcement in January. There will be a prize for the person
who submits the winning name or comes the closest.
Or picks the top name that Poodle likes the most, but still doesn't want to choose. So anyway, that's it. That's the news. That's kind of when, y'all, it's really nice to get a cease and desist letter the day your father goes into the hospital. So we've been dealing with this.
I got the letter and I was texting him. I'm like, you may want to check your email. Please call me.
I was like, what are you talking about?
There was radio silence for like hours because he was dealing with his dad. And I'm like, how is this motherfucker doing this to me?
Yo, because you didn't know about my dad yet.
No. I was just sitting there looking at the letter saying, we're going to take everything you have.
Because I was less concerned about because I work, my cubicle warrior job is at a law office. So I'm used to these letters of brimstone and fire where Jake was like, oh my God, am I going to have to be a top?
I'd find another way around that.
Anyway, so that's the news. We're excited about it.
The news is we're changing our name and you guys are going to help us.
And we're changing our art, which may or may not have some of 90 Day Fiancé's logo. We make no claims that we used any of the original artwork, but we promise you it will be gone.
Yep. So, anyway,
but
that's the big news. Let's dispense with this shit. The other big news, I should say, is not big news, but we're this is the first week of November, and we normally do a Bi Curious this week. We're going to push it to next week so we can be together for this one because it's going to be I Love a Mama's Boy.
It's going to be.
It's going to have to be.
I mean,
and we have to be together.
If Matt's going to sing Frozen, then we are going to have to sing Frozen together. And y'all know we can't do that online.
He's so gay.
He is.
It's a problem.
He is.
Like, I want to go to. They're in town. I want to go rescue her.
They're like every Latin gay guy that says they're straight and then 5 years later ends up on RuPaul's Drag Race as a contestant. Right? Is he Latin? He looks Latin. I'm just assuming.
I don't know.
Those eyebrows look Latin.
Well, those are eyebrows, as I said before. Yeah. Not eyebrows, eyebrows.
Oh, bless his heart. Bless really his girlfriend's heart because y'all.
Oh,
I know some of you sissies have been there.
I want to fucking rescue her. Fuck. That mom's pretty awful. No one's as bad as the Afghani mom. Holy fuck. She's a fucking
she's like Yazan's family.
but worse because she's
worse.
more insidious. Ugh,
She is
awful.
So that's gonna be our Bi-Curious episode, and then we'll be having we might have some more stuff coming this month as well. We'll see. We've talked about some stuff. You don't remember anything.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Oh, I know.
What?
This is terrible. Is it something about?
Don't say it. No, it's not about Christmas at all.
Never mind.
I mean,
P.S. There is this. I was watching Food Network this morning, watching Ina Garten and a couple others, or Ina Garten.
Oh my
I'm sorry.
God! Did the new episode not tape?
Yeah, you're fucked. You can look it online. I just ruined life for you a little bit.
Was it an actual episode where she did a bunch of new stuff, or does she just do like what she did, like name 3 things she's already done before and then cooked one thing?
I'm not sure. This seemed like a full thing, but I don't know if it's an old episode or not. This is when it's called Cook Like a Pro, Good Ingredients, and it's just the most bitchiest, snobbiest thing. Use good vanilla. You know how that's her thing?
Uh-huh.
But the whole show is that.
I love her.
It was so bougie and snobby. I loved it.
Hey, Siri, remind me tomorrow at 5 p.m. to tape Ina Garten.
Siri goes, "Thank you, faggot."
Okay. Your reminder is set for tomorrow, 5 p.m.
It says tape Ina Garten.
You also might want to tape Flashdance while you're at it.
Flashdance. All right, let's get to this show.
I wanted to say I brought this up for a reason.
Oh, okay.
That it's holiday music, and so you'll hear there's this Food Network promo for the Holiday Baking Championship, which looks like a terrible show. There's also, by the way, a Candyland show that Kristen Chenoweth is hosting, and it looks like a fucking acid trip.
It kind of does. I would watch that because I love her. She's from
Everything
Oklahoma.
is terrible.
She's from Oklahoma.
Anyway, but this is the remix of "It's the Most Wonderful Time." It's the most wonderful time, and it just repeats that. And this woman goes, "It's the most wonderful time of the year," and it's so bad. It's what's one of my least favorite Christmas songs as well, or holiday songs.
Hallmark and Food Network don't do well in the holiday music. I was so excited. I was so excited for the holidays because I was going to be home and decorate a lot, and I'm just kind of bummed about them now. I'm not looking forward to it. I got to
decorate your Ardmore.
I know. I'll have to just do it at my dad's house. So get in the mindset.
This is good. You won't be able to see me do my one tree that I'm putting up.
Oh, I'll be back in December because you're going to have to decorate more because we are planning on doing a holiday show, y'all. We're going to do a special holiday show.
I was doing the ding, 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 ding for a reason.
Oh, that wasn't a surprise. We've already said that.
I thought we hadn't finalized it.
I thought we did. Anyway,
we're doing a holiday show.
We should.
Not live, obviously. We don't want the COVIDs.
Come at us if y'all love that we just talk about business stuff in the middle of our fucking show. Let's get on with this. God damn it. We just had 10 people leave.
It's 12 minutes of announcements. We're going to get comments. We're going to get fucking reviews.
Again, it's not scripted.
You know what? We're trying to make it work. His father's been in the hospital. Do you hate cancer? Reviewers?
I do. I hate cancer.
Well, why don't you give us a little bit of rope, okay?
Anyway, y'all, yes, it's been a long day. I just needed to talk to my squirrel friend. Who needs a squirrel friend? Who needs one of our gay friends right now is Ariella.
Fuck. Okay. Oh, man.
Let's talk about them.
Boy.
You know what? We have...
I'm so angry because this...
Oh, man, you feel for her. So listen to this. I told you before we started. So y'all,
you have tea. You got tea on Ari and Binyam.
If you never listen to them normally, you should because I love them. Kim and Kyle, great episode this week. Do you know they talk
from 90 Day Cray Cray?
90 Day Cray Cray. Nobody. We email Cray Cray. By the way, Cray Cray, and a shout out to Molly at 90 Day Bay. We talked to them about all this legal stuff, and they were really supportive and helpful and all this kind of stuff.
Everyone's been great.
But so first of all, Kyle talked about like he had a botched circumcision. So he talked about that. They also talked about, which was super interesting. I didn't realize this. when Ari and Biniam left the hospital and Biniam walked.
Yeah.
Guess what? Ari and the cab driver were in a car accident on the way home from the hospital.
Whoa.
He said
that baby could have been expelled like a
hot potato.
Yeah.
So, but Kyle brought up, he said, think about it. They're editing the show to show Ari how they want you to see Ari.
Mm-hmm.
And we always have to remember that is, she seems privileged and this and that. But I mean, to me, I was like, wow, that is a huge thing for someone to say they're afraid of a car wreck the whole time. And then you don't even discuss that they were, or show that they were in a car wreck. Like, that's some shady shit.
Yeah. I mean, I said this before, it's deciding how they want the story to go. And they don't like Ari. I guarantee you the crew doesn't.
They don't seem to like, and they want to portray her as kind of privileged American, which she is. But I think they're really wanting to ramp that up. Can you imagine? You would look like such a cunt on TV, and I would look so stupid. They would demolish us if we were on reality TV.
You would say things, and when people would say, he's a fucking idiot. And about me, they would say, who let this cunt in my house? Everything they would get my worst. They would get my worst times, and they would do a montage of them.
Oh yeah. It would be horrible.
And they just have you like staring there with your mouth open like a mouth breather half the time.
And they would just have you keep saying stuff like that. So then people think you abuse me, and then I would get super famous because people would feel sorry for it. Maybe we should be on TV.
No, you'd say something stupid and people would say, oh, it wasn't just Poodle.
No, I don't know about that.
So anyway, so you guys, I mentioned this a little bit. I'm feeling sorry for her again. Mostly because you could say it's postpartum. You could say it's...
I worry about that.
You could say it's just the stress of being in another country where she doesn't know anyone. And also you could say it's kind of a little bit of Biniam's control issues.
Or I was going to say, or you could say after this episode, I feel like I realized it kind of clicked. I went, oh, Biniam's a performer. Now, granted, he's a bad performer. He's just slapping some ass and calling
ass
it dancing.
Drums, keyboard leg.
Biniam's a performer. He's aware of the cameras. He's aware of how he's perceived.
Mm-hmm.
He's aware. Ari is not aware. Ari is just living her truth.
She's not.
Whatever that is. And Biniam, I bet he is showing a completely different side behind doors than what we're seeing. I just had that feeling.
He's a really good martyr too.
Very.
And I feel like she's just what you see is what you get with her.
She's because like a raw emotional.
Yeah. And we've talked about this. I think it's because her instruction has been to try to immediately process what you're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And some of us sissies said that's every Jewish girl from New Jersey, or every it's the John Mulaney bit where he said his Jewish girlfriend walks into the room and goes, "My stomach hurts." They will always tell you how she's feeling.
John Mulaney is so funny. He is a little bit about Catholics too, and I was crying.
I didn't love his SNL opening monologue, but that's neither here nor there. So let's talk about her.
Let's talk about circumcision again.
The title and postpartum depression, everyone's favorite topic to hear two gay men talk about.
Yes.
So you can see by the opening tile. So Ari's given a stank face, and so it's going to be a bad trip.
It is.
And when last we left this lovely twosome, Biniam, Ari has taken the baby to not have the circumcision. And he's like, how could you do this? We respect our elders here. And he said, she didn't explain anything. She just went. And he's like, can you tell me why you said no? And she's sitting in the car and saying, no, I'm not going to when you're still being mean to me. And honestly, she's in such an emotional place. No amount of quote unquote reasoning is going to help.
I don't think in that moment, I don't think Biniam was being mean to her. I think it was just, she could not be consoled. I mean, she really was, it almost looked like a movie, like when you see like a movie, like this is very trigger warning, but like when you see like a mother and her baby dies or something, she's just holding the baby, kind of looking at, like rocking and talking. She was so inward. She just pulled it all in and was just so trying to shut out the world.
I don't think this was about the baby. I think this was about Ari.
Oh,
trying to kind of rewrite something that happened to her.
I think there could be a lot of that. I do think, and we don't know, just so I've heard, I do think there's also, y'all, you got to think it hasn't been that long since she's had the baby. So chemically, like I know women that will, not even their own baby, like if it's a week or a couple of weeks, even after birth, they will, they'll hear a baby cry and they'll just start lactating. So her body is probably physically responding, but I agree with you in that, because it's I think I've talked about this before, but Man Search a Meeting Man, Viktor Frankl. But he talks about like when someone has trauma, an abnormal response to a normal circumstance becomes the normality.
Yeah,
and I do think that like, but then I don't know, is this not because an abnormal response? Because we've had a lot of sissies that talked to us that said they had to have a situation where they had to have a C-section like Ari, and they completely forgot about that like her. Now, we had a lot of women, too, that said, I was super stressed out and scared, and that was a total overreaction of what she did. Probably a little more of those. But so, I don't know. It's hard.
This gets to, though, do we still say, okay, sure, we're still dealing with this kind of stress? I feel like the circumcision thing is something altogether different. I think she's afraid of inflicting any pain on her baby, because she knows pain, and she's like, already I care about. And there's this kind of, she can't live anywhere else but being in the moment, because that's what I feel like sometimes maybe her therapy has seemed to have her talking about in the moment. She doesn't really plan. Neither BB or her are planners.
They're not planners. I think the future. I think BB doesn't think about the future because he's just emotionally mature. Ari doesn't think about the future because it's immature. Ari does not think about the future because it's overwhelming.
Yeah, exactly.
It's overwhelming. And we see when she's holding that baby, I went, fuck, she's unraveling.
Yeah.
She's literally coming apart at the seams. This is not good.
If I were
scary.
If I were her mom and I saw this at the time, I would be over there and taking her back immediately. I would then say, I'm not saying commit her or something, but we're going to get you help, and you need to be with the baby by yourself for a while. You need to have something, because it's only making it worse.
Well, and put in perspective, I think Ari would have a really hard time having the baby in the United States.
Totally.
So on top of it, it's all with this on top of it. It's just too much.
And I think the worse it gets with him saying things to her, she's like, it's my decision, blah, blah, blah. It's my baby, because that's that self-protective instinct. And she has to say it's my baby because she feels like her baby, in her mind, her baby is endangered. So she has to protect the baby. Again, I totally get her here, and I'm going to have more to say. The only thing negative I can really, really say about her, and this was because this was done afterwards, is her confessional eyebrows. Come on.
They're not good. They're very it's still, I do think she had, from my outside perspective, so come at me, sissies, because I'm not a woman and I'm not a mother. I do feel like her reaction was too much for what the circumstance was. I think, like you said, I think she made it more about her.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying the reaction to the circumcision had nothing to do with the baby.
No. Now, what really broke my heart is, well, so anyway, they talk in the car and then they go home. And so I should preface for people. I forget some people don't watch and they just.
And this is the next day, and this is the
next. God, no, it's not even the next day. It's like a week, I think.
Oh, maybe you're right. They're going to get the circumcision that day, and I think now she's a little more feeling her oats now, and she's like, the only reason I'm doing this is because you want it and my family wants it.
Because that is kind of Ari's MO,
which isn't helpful at all. She's a martyr. So she's always going to be like, I've been put upon to do this. Right.
And for her, it's
she's like, I don't have a choice. I don't have a choice.
You know, and I actually, because I asked him, because I didn't know, my own father had a circumcision in his 30s.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I said, did you have that done? He's like, yeah. I said, did it hurt? He's like, no, it's fine. I was eating chicken soup that night. I was fine. So for him, it wasn't painful. But
why? I thought it was just so normal for American boys to be circumcised.
Maybe not of that time era, but or maybe because they were really poor
and he wasn't raised religious.
Well, not really, but yeah, it's something that it's something that but we've had other sissies come on the spectrum that you all have your opinions on this and you've all done it. Whatever works for you is what works for you. But I think when they go to the hospital again, that's where I kind of got this feeling like, what is it like because Ari says he keeps bugging me about it and pressuring me. And at first we used to be like, that's just Ari. And I'm like, now I believe her. I think that probably he's bringing this up all the time and kind of beating her down about this decision. That's just kind of what's in my gut about this. I don't even have evidence, but
I don't know. I feel like, he does seem super controlling, and he gets his way because he's Mr. Nice Guy.
Yes, he's that asshole nice guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the reasons I don't really like him because I can see through that kind of shit. If
I hadn't loved him like a lot of people say. I thought he's cute. A lot of people are really Tim Benny him. I'm like,
if you're too nice, y'all, there's something wrong with you. You can see through that shit. That means you're putting on something. You're putting on wolf's clothes.
But she says he told him that they are doing this and it's not a choice. Now, again, what did Ari hear?
Yeah, I don't know.
Vivian says she agreed to do it once again. And his reason is he wants, and I didn't know this. This is a lot of reasoning.
He doesn't want him to feel shamed.
That's a lot of reason why men do that. They don't want their sons to be in a locker room.
And I will say it does set you apart. In America, definitely, it sets you apart. In Europe, it doesn't at all. Like if I'm going up and down the Dick Riviera, y'all, it's just miles and miles of uncut coastline. Just miles and miles. And if you're in France, Germany, it's all uncut territory. Only when you get, and it's interesting because it's a religious reason for Binyam, where circumcision is an issue. And maybe it does show, and let's go back to what circumcision is. It is an agreement between God and man. So it takes on religious significance. So it's both, just you can take that into all the cultural things, like your shame for not having your penis cut.
But they're also going to have a lot less feeling in their dick.
That's not been proven. So
no, that has been proven.
Really?
I even asked my father that too. I said, "Was it?" He's like, "Oh yes." He's like, "The sensitivity went way down."
That's interesting. I thought
every uncut guy will tell you they have much more feeling.
But then there've been studies. I get it, but then there have been studies that's not true.
I'm just saying, from the, you and I, you start asking the dick you're with.
But
I asking the dick you're with.
I just want to. I don't know if that is a reason to say I'm not going to get my son cut because I want him to really feel it.
No, well, no, I'm not saying that's a reason, but I'm saying that's
but if you can say I don't want my son to, or I don't want to mutilate my son's body, if you want to think about it in that way, or I want to say I'm doing this because it's cultural and it's something I want for him. I think the last reason is I want him to feel everything.
It's not that feel everything. Part of me would be like, I wouldn't want to make a decision about their body that would also, like, to me, to decrease their sexual pleasure. I wouldn't want to do that for my kid.
It's not. I think let's be careful because it's not like female circumcision.
No,
it's like completely erasing that.
No.
I will say the whole thing, and this it is. There have been studies on it's easier to clean, and it is easier to clean, and you will develop infections a lot less.
Yes, apparently you can get an STD a lot
easier
if you're uncircumcised. So,
and those are scientific studies.
And whatever you want to do with the dick, we don't give a fuck. So just
I'm not gonna weigh in on this. I love suffer the little dicks to come on to me.
Little.
Sorry, I was saying suffer the little children. You don't know Bibles because you're Catholic.
No, but not little dicks.
Suffer the dicks to come on my face.
Mm-hmm. You know
That's
what?
The gospel of poodle. Ooh.
Just if you see that dick, suck it.
Suck it. I want to talk about the fact that I want to give a big well done to TLC for showing a woman having anxiety about anything to do with her child, especially circumcision. Well done. Because I'm sure women go through this and I've never seen anything on television about it. I've never seen any woman reacting to the sound of her son getting circumcised.
That was the hardest part to watch for me.
I agree. But I say kudos to Matt Sharp.
And I bet
making us watch this.
I bet that was triggering because she said something, and one of my friends recently, I have a friend who, and without going into too much detail, deal with some abuse with her baby. And one thing that she talked about was, she said, that was not his cry. That was not my baby's cry. That's not a normal cry. And it is, and she talks to me in very deliberate how the first time she heard a cry and she knew it was pain, it was one of the worst feelings she'd ever experienced in her life. And complete helplessness, this feeling of everything Ari said.
I'm a horrible mother. Yeah.
So many mothers feel when they know they could have prevented their baby from having pain. And I think cultural, smultural, religion, schmeligion, whatever the fuck you think, if you wash over this and think that she needs to just get over that, go fuck yourself. Because I think that is such a real raw emotion.
It is. And I think she said, it just told me I was failing as a mom because I couldn't protect him.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if she was back in the US and she had her emotional support animal, her mother, with her, that the circumcision would have gone pretty flawlessly.
I don't know. I still think she would have had a problem. That's what I was saying before. I still think she would have had a problem with it, even in the US. And then compounded with everything else, it would have been. Do I think it would have been as extreme, her reaction? I don't think so. But I think she still probably would have cried and probably really pushed against it.
Her mother would have talked her into it.
I know, but I'm just saying that's what I was saying earlier, though, is that she would have had a reaction on like a 1 to 10, like a 6. But because this is all going on, it's 16.
I'm going to say something slightly against that. And that I feel like she's having to, Ari is really happy in the contrarian position. And when she is back home, she is at home with people who are mostly a Jewish community.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's just no way to go against. So she would talk about going against it, but she would still have her child circumcised because it's so cultural. The bris is a huge event.
I still think she would have it done. 100%. I think she just would have had still a hard time with it because I think that she,
but she's having a really hard time because she actually goes away one time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I don't think it would have been half as bad.
That's just what I said. I said it was like it would have been like a 6 in the US and then like it was 16 here.
So after it's all done, he's like trying to kind of like put a fine point. He's like, so how do you feel now? He doesn't, y'all. Benjamin is the worst person to have in a crisis. The worst.
He really is. He really is gaslighting her for having big emotions.
Yeah.
Because if y'all think about it, even when Biniam starts this episode, he says, I'm so mad. You can't even tell he's mad. Like he doesn't.
Well,
a cultural thing I know in his call being a man, but you can't even tell his own emotions. So these two are the worst two people for one another.
And I wrote down, a baby fixed nothing. So y'all, if you're thinking about having a baby to save your marriage or save your relationship, you may want to rethink that.
It doesn't fix anything.
It don't fix nothing. It just makes worse problems. Oh,
she finally gets him kind of settled, and
you mean the baby?
The baby, and Biniam kind of says, her trust in me is really low, and it worries me about the relationship.
You should be. She's looking up flights right now.
And the deal is, I want to preface and say, maybe he is, but I mistrust Biniam a little bit more. Do I think Biniam's a bad guy and deserves to have his baby taken away to another country? No, not at all. I don't think he's a bad dude. I just think he's really fucking emotionally immature, and he also comes from another culture that he's been babied by his family and never really was required as a man in Ethiopia to take in your own emotional intelligence. Yeah.
And I agree with you. And Ari desperately needs that. She doesn't have a lot of her own self-assuredness.
Yes.
And she's going to need a lot from her partner. And
Ari needs a guy who had like a horrible, who had a mother who literally couldn't handle anything and was maybe like a complete breakdown, and like some kid who just had a horrible life of parenting his mother their entire life.
Like Norman Bates.
Yes. That's who Ari needs to be with. So then they can just parent Ari.
I think she needs to be a lesbian. It would be just so. Actually,
do you know how bad that would be? Oh,
she would, but she would have, the fights would be legendary. But I feel like she just needs. She needs to have someone. This sounds really bad. She needs to date someone from her own social circle, who knows everything and can kind of talk the language of her parents, and she can talk the language of his parents, and she can have just a normal life, what she thinks is a normal life, because what she's always wanted is this very exotic life for herself.
Yes, an avant-garde. She needs to date her dad. That's what she needs.
She does, because I feel like she's done with having this, after this child, she's done with the wild stuff. She's done with traveling the globe for fuckboys. This is done. I guarantee you she's back in the U.S. now. $100. $100.
I know she is. is. And it's such that's just super sad for Biniam. But hopefully he'll fucking wear a condom.
Y'all, when you're going around the world, like post-college, you need to bring boxes and boxes of Durex or Chic or Skin, SKYN, a brand that I stocked up on a while back, and they're just sitting there in my drawer.
Yeah, because he started taking prep.
Also, it's because it's Corona.
Yeah.
You might have them.
You might
I don't always have like raw dog sex.
You're like a 15-year-old that's had a condom in his wallet for 13 years, just waiting to do it, and it's like sticking to the wallet.
And I've got about 7 or 8 magnums just sitting there because you never know when those are going to come around. Most condoms will accommodate a lot of big penises, but there are some penises that you need to like break glass in case of emergency.
When I was dating and sexual, I would just buy magnums in bulk.
But magnums won't fit normal sized penises. They're little.
Again, they weren't needed.
Oh, because you only dated black guys. Or sorry, you only hooked up with black guys. I mean,
That's
you
not
only
true.
fucked black guys.
That's not true.
It's not?
Many Latin men too.
No, Latin men, you don't have to do
Not mine. I have the gift. I have the gift too. I know. And by the gift, I mean send me a picture of your dick by a ruler.
Exactly. Maybe good eyesight's your only gift. What's next? Jihoon and Devin? I think so.
No, we said we were going to talk about something.
Oh, now we're doing Jihoon and Devin last.
Yeah, that's what we said.
We're doing this out of order, you guys, because a lot of the heavy shit happens at the beginning.
But let's, speaking of cock, let's be a cock tease and take a break. For commercial.
See y'all at the end. It's time for Tim and Maylisa, y'all.
Have you ever tried to put on a futon? I peed on one. Well, I've never put one together. Golly, it's just I'm plumb wore out.
I'm plumb tuckered out.
Tuckered out. I got rest.
He's trying to put the futon together, which I will say,
you know what? I can't be mad.
These are very difficult to do.
Very.
And he's like, well, that last week with Maylisa just put all kinds of doubts in my head about her fucking some other dude. And I need to know how many times she's done it. She wouldn't tell me.
Wouldn't tell him. Sorry, I was listening, but also was thinking about, y'all, if you want to see something hysterical, ask Poodle to just video himself putting things together. Pretty comical. It's a lot of cussing. How many times Poodle didn't read the directions and just put shit together?
I don't read the directions. I just do it. I do. That happened to me just like a couple days ago when I was trying to put together. My Dyson. My Dyson air purifier. I was adding the humidifier to it, and I was like, "Why isn't this working? Why isn't this working?" And I realized I hadn't put the pump in it, and I was just in it, like, got water all over the floor, and I was like, "Why is this working? This is ruining everything." I was screaming. I also forget steps, but I can put IKEA furniture together. I'm quite good at that.
Maybe the visual thing is better.
The visuals help. I'm so visual. Yeah.
Oh, good. Well, did the humidifier work? Is it working?
Yeah. It's
good.
Fine.
Anyway, so y'all, we can't dog cheese.
For Tim and Maylisa.
Boy, is it? I just want to think about everything that's going on. I mean,
what?
It's like, read the signs.
Let's read the signs.
Y'all.
She's a fucking vengeance demon conjured by some college girlfriend of his. It's like Anya from Buffy. And
God, I love Anya. Oh my God, don't get me started on Anya.
She is a vengeance demon conjured to make him miserable for the rest of his life.
And yeah, she came out of a painting somewhere, and now
and her mother's a fucking bruja who's just there to destroy everything. I must say, I never want to see either of them again. I never want to see Cheese Stick again. I never want to see Maylisa again. If they're on Pillow Talk, I'll send it a bomb threat to the offices.
No, you know what? I'm going to make a promise, and this is one I think I can keep. I'm going to promise you they're never going to be on Pillow Talk. They've got to be entertainment. And I think that's why their storylines are actually pretty short. I don't think there's a lot about them. I think basically he's moved here and it's not going to work out. He's going to move away.
And she's going to fucking torture him every second that he's there.
So Maylisa, she does not think that Robin,
his mother who looks like Ann Dowd.
Yeah, true.
If you know, star of stage and screen, Ann Dowd. You know what? If your boyfriend or husband knows who Ann Dowd is, you need to get a divorce because he's gay. She was on The Leftovers. She was fantastic on The Leftovers. Anyway, his mother is Ann Dowd. Ann Dowd.
I think Ann Dowd is much prettier than her.
Oh,
Y'all,
yeah,
and if
a
you
little
haven't
bit.
watched Leftovers, Ann Dowd is in The Handmaid's Tale.
Yes, she's
Right?
Aunt Lydia.
Yeah. So, Melissa doesn't think that she should know that she fucked somebody
mother.
else. That's
The
none of
mother.
mother's business. And here's what Melissa doesn't understand: every son is a mama's boy. A son is gonna talk to their mom about
Not
shit.
as much as yours, but that's okay.
But still, you would tell your mother because you would.
I don't talk about my mother to anything sexually. I just don't.
No, but
Not like you.
You wouldn't tell your mother that you wouldn't tell your mother. Let's say your mother knew that you cheated on some guy you're about to marry.
Okay.
And she knew you were going over to insert a country poodle would cheat on a guy.
Jaybird, you did that? Oh,
Mexico. Let's say it's going to be Mexico, y'all. Or maybe like Brazil.
Colombia.
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 Your mother knows that you're going there.
Yeah. Okay.
Argentina. There we are. Argentina.
Ooh.
Yeah, there you go.
The Argentines are hot. Okay.
So you're going to Argentina.
A lot of horns with Argentines.
Great. And your mother knows that that's why you're going because you fucked up.
Yeah.
Your mother knows you fucked up. So you're telling me you're not going to tell your mother when you found out that your significant other that you go to beg and grovel to fuck some people while you run a break.
You know what? It would be my first call. And I think you're right now that you've explained it to me. Because my mother would be on my side.
Exactly.
And my mother would need to know that.
And it's stupid for Melissa to think that when she needs her mother on her side, she know that it's so dumb of her because it would be much better for her to like act like it's, oh yes, please tell your mom, and not to apologize for anything, but just to feel like she's trying to be, but because she's wants to be secretive about it, Robin, it's not going to, that is the nail in the coffin on this for mom.
I think also that it's just the mom that he's had to beg, borrow, and plead to Melissa's parents. Tell them everything.
Everything.
Yes, it's been a little different because she like fucked someone when they were quote on a break, Ross from Friends style.
But it was like Ross from Friends style that he did not think they were on a break.
Right.
She did.
Y'all, who gives a shit? Cheese Stick is a fucking golden retriever and Melissa is a vengeance demon.
Also, don't go on a break. Just break up. Don't go on a break. Just break up.
Agree. Break up. This fucking break shit. You're just putting your relationship on an artificial respirator.
If you're putting on a break, that means you can't let go.
Or you're just hoping something will intervene. You know, I don't know. Someone come at us if a break has helped your relationship.
Yeah, actually, I'm interested in that.
I want to know. So Mom and Aunt Carmen are visiting, and that's all we need to know is...
Next week. They're coming next week.
Yeah. All we do need to know that the last time Melissa met
this
Mom,
was tea. This was hot tea.
That they were fighting and she threw things or he threw things or I'm not even sure.
We don't even know. She said things were people got basically she says Cheese Stick started barking really loud at her. And then she started
animal
yelling.
Control was called.
Yeah. And she started yelling at him. And then she said things were thrown. She did not say who threw the things, which leads me to believe she threw them.
She threw things. And so
y'all, because if somebody else threw things, you say, he fucking threw things.
Yeah.
If you throw them, you say, things were thrown.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for saying that. His mother took her and said, I'm going to call the police if you don't calm down. Which means they're good Midwestern stock, Texan.
They're wasp. You don't talk about.
She was motherfucking hysterical.
Probably. And
you know what? I as a woman, I've been hysterical. So I understand when people would call the cops on me.
Can I keep telling you you're not a woman?
Labels. So
yes, I will confirm he has been hysterical.
I've been hysterical in my life.
You once walked out of a cabaret rehearsal. I think because you didn't have, was it false eyelashes? I don't even remember. There was something stupid.
You know what? It's my prerogative. And I will say that having his mother and his aunt visit right now is such a terrible idea.
Yeah.
This is the worst idea ever. She's going to be unresponsive. He's going to think they're there to support him. And so she's
not going to stay there. Imagine. What would Mother Poodle say if she was coming to see, let's say you and your guy lived together and she was coming to stay at your apartment. And then when you got there, you said, so Mom, Tommy's not staying with the
show. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, doesn't want to stay with me. What does he think? What's wrong with me? My mother would make it all about her.
What's wrong with me?
Mother Poodle would make it all about her. Woo! And the thing is, Mother Poodle would handle this really, really quick.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. My Mother Poodle would look around for ways to, first of all, make me see that Melissa had been, or some who I had been with, had been unfaithful, and she would brainwash me into believing that she was unfaithful. And she would say, I'm going to get you. God, have you met your brother's friend?
So
his name's Andrew. Have you? He's gay. He's great.
So your mother would do basically what Quaylon's mom's doing on Love After Lockup.
Yes, my mother would be a Quaylon mother. She would, first of all, she would probably tell Melissa that, or anyone like Melissa, that she wasn't really into being part of her story. And things would kind of go from there. Yeah.
Which is, I think, how things are probably going to go.
It's going to be really ugly, y'all. Really ugly.
Yeah, they're both saying, I kind of think this is the worst time. We'll see.
I hate them. I never want to see either of them again. Even though I love doing cheese stick.
And you want to see Tim's dick though, right?
I would. It's big. Oh, it's big. I will say in his confessionals, he's got a still one eye up, one down thing going. It's really problematic. It's full on like Men in Black skin suit man. It's a problem.
The only conversation I could have him is about sports. And I don't care about sports.
He's a fucking dumbass.
I mean,
just to be honest,
he's got pretty lips. He's got pretty lips. I bet he's a good kisser.
I'd blow him. You know what? If I was in an airport Chili's and I had another 4 hours of a layover and he was like coming on to me, I would totally take him into the United Airlines lounge and bang him in a private room. Did I say that out loud?
Wow. Let that sink in.
You know what? It's just a bang.
This is what differentiates us.
I don't remember any of them. Remember maybe the top 10.
And we wonder why Discovery's making us change our name.
I mean, seriously, y'all. All the guys, when people will contact me and say, yeah, we banged like, a couple years back. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to need a little more. I don't remember your face. I'm going to need a little more. And I'm like, oh, yes.
Probably even that, though. Can you send it? Okay, yes. When you orgasm, do you slap people? Do you moan? Do you say fuck? Or do you act like you're having a religious experience?
I mean, I'll be honest, too. Even with good big dicks, you're only going to have really good sex maybe 25 to 30% of the time. Tops.
It's true.
I mean, I am quite a perfectionist. I like things to go. I like things to wow me. If I don't go wow by the end,
wow,
yeah.
All I need is the music and the dick.
I just read everyone is saying 25% of everyone else. 25% of people. You know what? I'm being generous with 25%, honestly.
It's more like 10.
Yeah. I think I can probably remember. This is terrible, and it makes me sound slutty, but I don't care. I'm not going to slut shame anyone. I can probably remember really good 25 people.
Oh, 10 for me.
Wow.
I can't remember all those people, but I have a horrible memory.
You do. Yeah. It's like a dog.
You forget with someone, you forget when people I didn't know we fucked until he was actually inside me again. And I went, oh,
you have to repeat your address.
Yeah. How's your mom? How's your mom? Oh, good. Good, y'all.
How's your mama?
This is a podcast, but when I say this, I'm actually looking around.
Like you are. No, we are.
We're method.
You don't realize how active we are. When I like grasp my desk when I say things.
Mm-hmm.
My head's my arm. Mm-hmm. I'm wearing a sleep shirt. Look, my holes are all in my shirt.
Oh, is your dad still on that hardware store? Oh, that's good. That's good.
Let's move on to Ji-hoon and Devin.
Ji-hoon.
I don't know. Why do you do that?
Because when we first watched him in the OG 90 Day Fiancé, I probably should preface because I hope people don't think it's like a racial thing. No, I do that because we saw him and we got so excited the first time we both screamed and went, Ji-hoon! We were just so excited. And
I don't remember that at all.
We did that in the first watch along.
No, I know you do that. And I'm just kind of like, why does he do that every time?
Well, it's my thing.
It's not your thing. It's whatever.
Yeah. Well, it's something for you not to judge or be concerned with. Y'all.
Okay. Fair.
Y'all, Devin and Ji-hoon, they're going to a park. They're going to a park to
see how obnoxious it is.
No, it doesn't bother me at all.
So they're going to a park with lots of tents, and Devin says, when this would be in the U.S., you would buy meth. Great. This ain't the U.S., bitch.
It's not the U.S.
I fucking hate her. Can we, dispense with all pleasantries with Devin?
You know what? I used to think...
awful.
She used to get on my nerves. After this episode, I'm like, you're gross. She's gross.
Awful, and she's totally laying the groundwork to leave him. Yes. And it's making me furious. And I'm not a Ji-hoon apologist because he's a man boy, but this is ridiculous.
We've actually been much harder on Ji-hoon than we have Devin.
Yeah. Oh, she's so fucking awful. I just think
she's horribly self-involved.
And those fucking lips.
I feel like Devin and Brittany really showed their ass this episode.
I agree. So
y'all, spoiler alert for next episode. I fucking hate Brittany.
Oh,
I adore her after this.
This is the worst Brittany episode we've had.
You give Americans a bad name.
Also, her makeup was orange this episode. Like when she was flying.
It was a lot. So they're in this park and they're
meeting his high school friends and his college friends, which is friends we haven't met before.
They haven't. And so, and Drusilla immediately goes up and makes a little kid friend. So she gets to go away. And then
she buries herself in the dirt because Dracula is retaining her strength.
You know what Devin does? And I don't. You know what? My boyfriend and I, we made an agreement not to do this. And I feel like so many couples do this, is we made an agreement, even if it's in jest, not to make a joke or anything at the expense of our significant other. And just because we're in public, even though it's a fun inside joke to us, even if it's like, I don't know, he never does the dishes, which he does all the time. But let's say that's it or whatever. It's not about me when I'm with other people. Well, I'm doing everything, I do the dishes every night. We just agreed not to do that. And I wish Devin and Ji-hoon would do that because she's the fucking worst about it.
Yeah, she is. I'm curious. I think that I agree with you a little bit. In another way, I feel like that's just like misrepresenting yourself to everybody, and kind of in a weird way keeping yourself a united front because you don't want anything else to spill out.
No, it's not from that. It's just, I mean, it's more of, it's not that I wouldn't talk about that. It's more saying like, I would just say,
won't throw each other under the bus.
But in the way of like that, it's a joke. Like if people were talking about doing the dishes, and I would say, "Yeah, Kyle doesn't really do the dishes as much as I do." I would say, "Oh, like
you're saying it's okay. It's in not
this passive aggressive joking way of like, well, he's just a man who never does anything," or this kind of like, I'm not describing it well, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I'm not
the way Devin went up to him, and the way he goes up to her friends, and basically she was like, "So is Jihoon always,
Well, that was particularly
terrible with money and literally just looking for things to
I feel like when people are couples, that's what you talk about, and you have fun with that.
No, I'm saying that. I guess this is the intention behind it. Like we never want, because we do have fun with that. With I guess this is what irks me about this. We have fun with that with couples that are close to us that we're good friends with.
Yeah, I agree.
Evan just met, and she's doing this, and I'm like, you don't do this.
I totally agree with you. Yeah,
that's what's really bothersome to me about that, and it's just because I've been to parties where there'd be somebody at a barbecue, and I've never met this woman in my life, and she's just making jokes about how her husband doesn't do anything, and I'm like, no, that's not what you do when you meet people for the first time.
I feel like that's just a way to bond sometimes. But I understand what you're saying, but like is to talk about your relationship, because that opens dialogue. Like, I'm not saying you're incorrect. I'm just saying it happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just something that's going to happen because we assume that our significant others love us enough to be able to talk about it in a way that's discourse.
You can run a dangerous course. Well, then you become Andre and Libby, that's all they do in front of it, and it can make people come off as very unhappy and bitter, and I think that's another. I wouldn't want people to
I totally agree with you, but I would venture to say that 60 to 70% of people who are at couples things think that reflecting angry and bitter is how they should react.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
just who we are.
Yeah.
And I think there's a little amount of ribbing is fine, but I understand what you're saying about the bitterness,
especially around strangers.
Yeah, I agree. But I think a lot of that is bonding. A lot of it is bonding, saying this, we're in this weird thing called a relationship, and we have to talk about things that don't really work for us.
But I think you need to talk about, if you do that, that's fine, but talk about it with the other person. Be like, hey, are you cool with that? Is that like maybe not in that moment, either before or after? Because I think we're starting to see little by little, I feel like Jihoon is starting to resent this more and more. Like he tries to be very like, oh, everything's fine. Huh? I'm funny. And Jihoon is getting less and less funny because I feel like
she's awful, and I think she really is. She is preparing for her exit, and it's very, very obvious.
Not only is she preparing for her exit, she wants to make him feel like a piece of shit human being. She doesn't maybe know that consciously.
She does.
She does.
She's terrible. She's terrible. Y'all, if I was in any party and I met Jihoon and Devin, and I was at any time with Devin, I'd be like, who was that fucking bitch I had to talk to with that hair and those lips? Because good God.
Now, if I was at a party with Jihoon's friend, Young Lee,
he was hot.
All those tattoos. Did you see all those tattoos on his neck?
He was the one who looked like a little bit like Yoko Ono to me.
Glasses. He was sexy. And then the one that was sitting by him in the black polo with the kind of weird. He was cute.
I was kind of into him.
Yeah, I was too. The one that spoke English.
Yeah, I had my Asian phase for a while. It was all I wanted to date, like when I was like mid-20s.
Don't send letters. Don't send
When
letters.
I say Asian phase, I loved the Asians, so it's fine.
Oh, God.
You
just said the Asians.
They
Jesus.
So basically he walks away. She's like, Jihoon always been irresponsible with money. And they're like, yeah, he's just like a man boy, whatever. So he
see, that is what I'm talking about. That is you do not say that in front of strangers.
No, now that is fucking bullshit. You can say things like you said before, oh, so and so never washes the dishes. Oh,
yeah, that was not a great example. She's talking about personal shit.
Or like so and shitty, you're like blah 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 is a shitty cook. Don't say, oh yeah, he's a thief.
Yes.
He stole phones. She's terrible. Then we basically he goes away to change to change Taeyoung's diaper, and she's like, so guys, I need to know. There's all kinds of girls on his phone, and I see him looking at porn. Is that normal? Does everyone do that? And all the other boys are like, yeah, we're guys.
Yeah.
Everyone looks supportive.
Yeah.
I want to say right now, women, men, dogs if they can, cats.
What? Did somebody call my name?
All of them look at porn. And Devin, if you don't...
Please do it. Please do it. Even people named Cheese do it. Let's look at porn. Let's look at porn.
And Devin, if you think that goes like full on, go ahead and cough. That's like Mary Smothered territory. That you think jerking off to someone is cheating. And y'all, this is going to be super divisive this episode.
Well, he cheated on me. What am I supposed to say? We're supposed to get married. He came home.
I was cheating on you. I that's not true. I went to the strip club. I never touched her. She came close to me. Her body was on me. She was in my vicinity, and I promptly vomited on her shoes. I was soaking her shoelaces in my vomit, and then I proceeded to go home, where I proceeded to masturbate to twin pornography. And that was our wedding night.
It's cheating.
Yo, I miss Frank from Smothered so much.
I know you do. I feel like we'll see him again. So basically, all their friends are kind of like,
to say I promptly vomited again.
It was good. Frank. So basically, all the friends are like, no. And then she's like, but they're selfies, and they're kind of like,
you can still download fucking selfies.
Yeah, he's like, the friends say basically like, Jihoon's not a bad guy. He's done stupid shit, but he's not a bad guy.
No, I actually believe them because Jihoon even said, I'm a dad now, and I got to become a grown up. And I really feel like his parents did raise him right, that he's a family person now. He's not going to cheat on her. Now it's about building his family.
Yes.
And I don't
Devin's already made up her mind because she already says, I feel like he's hiding something and he's being dishonest with me.
Yeah. She's getting her exit strategy ready. So the next thing, you guys,
they go to dinner.
The friends are all like, they love Jihoon. They're going to dinner the next day, and she's going to confront him about the pics on his phone. And she's basically like, I found pics of naked girls. He just dies laughing embarrassingly.
And
which just tells you he's not caught out.
He's not
embarrassed.
He's embarrassed. So you guys, if he was cheating, he would have had a much different reaction.
Because if someone accuses me of cheating by seeing pics on my phone of the dick pics I have, I'm going to bust out laughing just like Jihoon did.
Yeah.
And granted, I might be cheating, but I can still act well enough. But most of the time, I'm like, if you look on my phone and see all my Scruff account and my Grinder account, you're gonna see a lot of dick pics, girl.
See a lot of dick pics. Well, again, Jihoon is pretty honest because he said, he said many men have sexual desires. Many women do too.
Yeah.
But he does say that he said, but we don't have sex that often. And y'all, because
I've got my hand.
When are you going to fuck? When are you going to fuck when Dracula is your stepdaughter? You're not. Any time that you start to make a play.
It's like banging at the door going, Mama!
She hears because she's an awful child. And so
she's got super hearing like Dracula, like a bat.
But then Devin says something, and I feel like this maybe will be divisive, but she says masturbating to women is cheating.
It's not. Come on. It's not divisive. No. I'm saying
I'll be interested. Come at us, listeners, and let us know. I do not think it is cheating either.
It's not.
I do not.
So you're saying masturbating to any type of porn, to any type of
now, if you're talking to people, you're exchanging pics or videos.
That's different. That's very
cheating.
That could be in kind of an emotional level. I want to make sure what you're saying. Masturbating to pictures of girls you haven't talked to and don't know.
Not cheating.
Like
agreed.
Porn. Yeah.
Not cheating.
You can make porn part of your sex life, you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I've watched porn with many a gentleman caller who I've been like, or they've been, please, I can't do it another time. I can't do it. I'm like, we're going to watch porn and then you will be able to.
Either that or they start to fuck him and he'll say, or they're ugly, but they have a huge dick. And they'll say, look at my eyes. He's like, I am. And he's just putting his hand over his face. Yeah. And he's just looking at like.
I'm glad that you're giving away all my sexual secrets on the podcast.
Anyway, y'all come at us. If you think your husband, wife, significant other is cheating on you when they masturbate to pictures of pornographic people, not people they know, come at us. Let us know. We're probably going to disagree with you.
I kept writing down, this is ridiculous. Who the fuck are you? When did you get so like the church lady from Saturday Night Live?
I mean, he swears that he's never, and she just is like, again, and this is what's even shittier. She's like, have you ever cheated in your past relationships?
He's like, once.
And this is what I want to say to people. If you really want to, now granted, there are exceptions to this. Like, did you kill someone that you dated with in your past? And they say yes. Don't date them. Let's say if they dated 5 different women and they cheated on all 5 different women. Okay, that's a pattern.
That's a pattern.
For the most part, comparing your present relationship to past relationship is just going to be the downfall of your relationship.
It's not helpful for anyone. And to say once a cheater, always a cheater.
You don't know. Devin has no, you know what it is? Someone who says once a cheater is always cheater has never been in a shitty relationship.
That is the truth.
Or because once you are in that situation, or you are not even in the shitty relationship, but you're the other man or the other woman.
Yeah.
And you realize that good people make bad mistakes. And Devin still looks at the world in black and white. And I think that's actually her biggest problem in life. In a way, I know he's a man child, but in a way, in some ways, Jihoon has more emotional maturity the way he looks at some parts of the world than Devin.
I totally agree. I think the idea of once a cheater, always a cheater is much more of a woman's conception of a guy who's cheated on them. Mm-hmm. And I understand why one can say that, because it's a boundary you don't cross just because. If there's no communication between two people, that's when adultery can happen.
Mm.
It's just, I mean, that makes sense. And I'm not saying it's anyone's fault. But saying once a cheater, always a cheater is so reductive. It doesn't like make and honestly,
It's insulting to the relationship.
I agree. I can say this though. When someone would cheat on me, I would probably not take them back. However, if I met someone, if I was dating someone and I found out they cheated on a previous girlfriend, I would be like, you know what? That's none of my fucking business. I know what I'm doing. And I know we're having clear communication. And you know what? I'm not going to judge them because I don't know who this woman was.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what their history was like.
Yes.
I mean, it's assuming a lot.
Now they're married. So when you're appointed to marriage, I don't think there's anything wrong with saying,
children.
Yeah, you're married and have 2 children. I don't think there's anything wrong with saying, hey, what was that circumstance like? What was that story? Not to like get information to put against them, but to be more like, I want to make sure that you're not ever feeling that way you felt then in our relationship.
How can we communicate freely?
How can we do this more effectively?
Because I will promise you guys, if you're communicating, unless your significant other is completely ignoring all your feelings, it's harder to cheat. It's a lot harder to cheat if you're completely open with the other person. People
cheat when they feel like they're talking to a brick wall.
Yep, exactly. And they're not being respected.
They're not being,
and that's not to say that you could be
heard.
Not being heard. When you're the most open person in the world, they could think that you're not giving them what they needed, and they could be wrong.
And then some of you are going to date narcissistic sociopaths, and you're just fucked.
And you're fucked.
You're fucked because they're just going. Because they're going to cheat on you no matter what. So we're talking about the normal good people in the world. Sometimes people are just fucks.
Exactly. A lot of people are assholes.
Like men who cheat on their pregnant wives. I'll never understand. I know shit happens. That I judge.
That's pretty fucked
up. That
up.
I judge. If you cheat on your pregnant wife, oh man.
Basically, you guys, Ji-hoon says she wants him to delete all the photos of the women. And he's like, I will. And if I cheat, I will cut my dick. And she's like, maybe not that far because it's already... We know.
What if we find out? I hope nobody brings that back in like 3 weeks. We find out Ji-hoon cheated on Devin when she was pregnant.
Then we will have something to say.
We'll have something to say.
Yeah. That's the show,
and
y'all.
That's all we have to say, y'all.
Because more is going to come in part 2. And we'll have more details on our contest for the naming.
And well, yes, we're going to have that. You can go to, for now, you can... For now, you can. That's what?
Full on Children of Eden cut. The naming when they're naming all the animals.
Wow, that was just got rid of like 20 people. You can go to 90daygaysfornow.com.
For now.
Or to find all of our show information and all that information. And y'all be sure to jump onto y'all are coming as you're enjoying our Sweet Tea podcast about Southern Charm. This first episode was good.
It was good. I enjoyed it. I'm really excited about next Thursday's episode.
Yes, it looks very good. The show airs on Bravo on Thursday nights, and then we put our podcast usually up on Friday nights. Mm-hmm. So come at it now. Again, the show link to that is in the show notes, y'all, because it is a different podcast. We put the first episode up for all of you to listen to this week.
It's a different show.
She's still confused. It is a different podcast called Sweet Tea. Subscribe to it wherever you listen to podcast apps, and we will love you forever, even more than we already do. There was something else. I don't remember.
Coming at us on Cameo.
Coming at us at Cameo. Yeah, check it or fake it and be more.
Matt Suck Dick.
Boy, how did you know my other screen name? That's so funny. Anyway, y'all. That's the show. We're going to take a little breather, and then we're going to be jumping into part 2. So we call these people Lonely Hearts Poodle because aren't we all just lonely hearts looking for love?
Yes. And if you... Here, keep talking.
Oh, my God. You have the whole fucking episode. I mean, the whole fucking episode. Rubber ducky, you're the one.
Yes.
And if you have ever fucked a homeless man, an unhoused person in a tent, come at us.
No, it's call us.
Call us.
It's call us.
Call us.
Why do you...
Bye.